When we started making, or even thinking about making a movie together, we had no resources, no money. We just knew that we wanted to make a movie and hope that it would go big. It would go somewhere.
Yeah, Chris was an aspiring filmmaker from Beatrice, Nebraska, a town of 12,000 people.
Yeah, who knows where that is?
Who got, got a film scholarship, a Brett Ratner film scholarship or grant to the New York Film Academy in LA. And he was trying to film his thesis, but didn't have any money or resources, and he ended up coming up to Fresno, where I have been, and filming in Fresno, and that's where I met him, and we started kind of a friendship there. I had, prior to that, been in just the most dire of financial circumstances. I had been the victim of a Ponzi scheme in 2007, where I had borrowed money on my house, took out a second, credit cards, and fully invested in this company that had given me a return. So it had a history of being a success, and it had great ratings and Better Business Bureau and advertised in Newsweek and all these, in many different papers and whatnot. But they shut it down the moment I put all that money in, and I was just at a complete loss and in really a bad situation. My family, kids, the whole thing. I ended up getting laid off. Work was just crazy. I went on this show called Wipeout, though, on ABC. And my wife thought that I could win that because I'm agile and squirrely, and I did what any self-respecting person who needs to earn money would do. They tried out for a game show, and I went on, and I actually won. I won my episode, and I was able to use that money to hold me over for a while and hold us over. And from that experience, I was so excited about the fun I had and the fun that the crew and cast and everyone was having on set that I had to look for opportunities. I heard about this kid that was coming up to Fresno. I didn't know he was a kid at the time, but I heard about this guy coming up to Fresno who was going to be filming his thesis, and he needed stunt actors. And a self-proclaimed professional stuntman that I am, having been on Wipeout,
yes,
I volunteered. And that's essentially where we met.
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah, I was
How
casting.
did it go from there when we met?
We were casting, and I met this guy, and he was constantly kind of inserting himself into scenes and trying to be involved and learn as much as he could, because he, hadn't been formally educated or anything in movies, and he just had a drive to be involved. And so it wasn't long after that we had kind of formed a friendship, and then we formed our company, Tremendum Pictures, in Fresno, and started thinking about what our first movie would be.
And let me just say what Tremendum is, because the word is important to us. Not the company, regardless of the company, the word is important to us. The word Tremendum means a feeling of awe associated with an overwhelming experience. And that's exactly what this whole thing has been for us.
Yeah.
And that's what we hope our movie is for moviegoers, and that's what we just hope life is for people. And I mean, I'm looking at menus and looking at the production on all this stuff here, and knowing that the budget for this is way more than our budget for our movie, and just thinking, man, how grateful we are to be in this situation. It's very, very cool.
Yeah. We created this trailer. We spent $250 on it. Travis built the Gallows, the original Gallows, out of his fence.
His old
fence that was going to get torn down. We used the wood from that. I mean, we used whatever we could. We shot this trailer kind of as an experiment, and used it to pitch to people in Fresno to try and get some money to make this movie. And we didn't, we weren't trying to get $1 million. Yeah. We just wanted a little budget. We needed enough just to make the movie, and it worked. We got the budget. We got the movie made, and put a second trailer for this movie online.
For a real movie,
not just a
fake trailer.
Not just a fake one.
Yeah.
And the trailer we put online really did set it off for us. We started getting passed around a lot of movie blogs. People started to take notice. We were getting phone calls from like the Weinstein Company.
Yeah,
and
that was awesome. We were in the van driving down the night. It was the night before we were supposed to meet with Dean Schneider from Management 360. And we told him we were going to be in LA. We weren't, so we drove down in the van. And all through the process, we had actually used the van as not just transportation, but as hotel.
Yeah.
Chris would sleep across in the middle section. I would put my feet underneath, and that's how we did it when we were doing all the sound design and things and traveling here. But we just took these calls, and we were just excited. And you want a copy of our movie? You want to screen it? And it was just such an incredible experience.
Yeah, and I think it really speaks to kind of like this generation of everyone's got a phone or something they can film with and create content with, and I think it's just awesome that opportunity is out there for people, and people who aspire to do what we did,
Yeah.
to make movies or to be in entertainment or acting or whatever.
And we ultimately ended up meeting with Dean Schneider at Management 360, and we gave him a screener of the movie, and he enjoyed it and said, "Man, this is great." And it was more so from a production standpoint at first, coming on as a producer, but immediately they were like, "These guys have something," and we're grateful that they saw that we want to do big stuff here. And he introduced the movie to Jason Blum. Jason Blum thought it was great, and we were ecstatic about that, and said, "Hey, we could do a couple of tweaks to make it really hard for studios to say no to this." And so we said, "Let's go do those couple of tweaks."
Yeah.
And we made them, and we brought it back and had a screening for all the major studios. Many of them loved it, and we ultimately ended up with the great New Line Cinema and Warner Brothers, which we are very happy about, and we love them.
You know, it started out, originally Travis had more of a producer role. I was more facing with the actors, and that was kind of how it was for a while. And then we realized that we were both kind of talking to the actors, we were both kind of directing scenes, and so after a while we kind of just both became the directors, both became producers, and it just kind of tag teamed everything, really.
Yeah.
And but it was cool. It was cool to bounce ideas off of each other, find the best thing that worked for a scene or for a moment.
Well, and even the editing process.
Yeah.
I mean, Chris edited the movie. I edited some scenes, a couple of smaller scenes in the movie. I did some visual effects. These are things that I hadn't done. Chris taught me a lot of them. Ultimately, I ended up getting pretty good at some of them, but Chris did the bulk of the editing, the bulk of the visual effects, but we kind of still both did just about everything, a little bit of just about everything on this film. For people that aren't excited about gore or the typical tropes of R-rated movies, they're really going to love this one because it's scary without those things. For people that do love gore, it's not going to matter because they're going to get scared with all the stuff that comes in this anyway. So either way.
Well, and everyone's been to high school. Everyone's been to school. Everyone's experienced that part, of life, and why not experience it at night and when you're locked in?
Everyone has something to be afraid of.
Get twice as scared
about their
of
high school.
And we think it just appeals to we always kind of compare it to a little bit of John Hughes, in that high school element. You have these relationships that we can all relate to. I was the jock, I was the cheerleader, I was, that person, or I had a friend that was that person.
I was in the drama group.
Yeah.
I was in the,
Yeah. So we think it's very relatable to everyone who's been to school or who is in school and who just likes to be scared or thrilled.
Yeah.